part about these slides is figuring out where the surface is. You've got to go all the way to the top. This one has sort of a weird little fold. So we've got a little fold of extra tissue over on this side. But look, this is the surface. This is the surface. So you can actually see. So you can actually see, like right here. See how I've got a broken gland right there, right? I look across the surface, there is no surface epithelium. I'm seeing lamina propria in direct contact with the uterine cavity here. So I've got these broken glands right here, broken glands right here. Looks like it's kind of torn right through here. I can actually see some stuff sloughing off into the lumen right here. That's because those glands have literally been broken. So what I'm seeing here, this would all be endometrium. This would all be endometrium here. If I cruise down a little bit, there's where it transitions. So this would be the stop of the endometrium and the beginning of the myometrium. Because again, the glands terminate, right? So these would be the bottoms of those glands. If I go back up to the surface, that's how I know that it's the menstrual phase. So if I had a slide like this on a test and I said, name the organ, it would not be enough to just say uterus. This is uterus in the menstrual phase. Okay? Uterus in the menstrual phase. This right here is a uterine gland. This is a uterine gland. Again, this layer, as long as I see uterine glands, I know that this is the endometrium. What is this tissue out here called?
Lamina propria.
Lamina propria. Pretty good? Lamina propria is only in the endometrium, correct? Because endometrium is simple columnar epithelium plus lamina propria. Perfect. Okay. So that was the menstrual phase, days 1 through 5 in a typical cycle. After that, the glands have all been ripped off of stratum functionalis, right? Stratum functionalis was shed off. And then we come over here and we look at the proliferative phase. So we're rebuilding glands at this point. First of all, notice, here's the uterine cavity, and look, I have a surface epithelium again, which tells you right away it can't be menstrual phase. Right? So I see this simple columnar epithelium right here. That would be simple columnar epithelium. Every one of these is a uterine gland. A lot of them are long and straight, long and straight, long and straight, or little tiny circular profiles. Right? Long glands, fairly skinny. Right? What I'm seeing from here all the way down to here, endometrium. Endometrium. Endometrium again made of uterine glands and lamina propria. What kind of epithelium lines this gland?
Simple columnar.
Simple columnar. What kind of epithelium covers the surface? Simple columnar. Remember, it's the same epithelium. Goes across the surface, dips down into the glands. I can see that right here. Across the surface, dips down into a gland. Okay, one more time. Name this layer. Simple columnar epithelium. Name this layer.
Lamina propria.
Lamina propria. Name this structure.
Uterine gland.
Uterine gland. Name this layer from here to here. Name this layer here. What kind of tissue would I find in the myometrium? Smooth muscle tissue. Correct. Only the uterine tubes would have cilia. The uterus would not have cilia. That's correct. Okay? And again, name this organ.
Uterus in proliferative phase.
Uterus in the proliferative phase. Uterus in the proliferative phase. Or proliferative uterus would work. Doesn't matter the order, right? Proliferative phase again, days 6 through 14. This is before ovulation where the glands are rebuilding. And one more. Last one. Uterus in the secretory phase. Uterus in the secretory phase, this is days 14 through 28. So again, what we're looking at here is post-ovulation. The ovary has already released a secondary oocyte stalled in metaphase 2 out of the Graafian follicle, and therefore the uterus is getting ready for implantation. So, let's go back to the surface. Okay, so I did not change powers. I did not change the magnification power on here, and I can't fit the endometrium on the field of view. endometrium has thickened, right? Glands have gotten taller and puffier and thicker. So if I go a little further, I'm still in the endometrium. Still in the endometrium, and it finally ends right there. So a much thicker endometrial layer. Also, look at the shapes of these glands. Look at how much bigger the lumen is inside the glands. They've actually expanded out. I see a lot more of this coiling up of these glands down here. The lumen is thicker. It looks like there are more glands. It's not that there's more of them, they're just coiled, so you're getting more cuts through them. Okay? So again, what layer would I see up here? Simple columnar epithelium, right? This is uterine cavity right here. Simple columnar epithelium. What layer? Lamina propria. Name this structure. Uterine gland. Name this layer. Endometrium. If I go down a little bit, name this layer. Myometrium. Name the organ. Uterus in the secretory phase. Secretory phase of the uterus is going to be after ovulation all the way to the end of the cycle at day 28. Yes? Just to give you some idea also of the thickness of the myometrium, I'm just going to scan it across because you guys have looked at slides now of the stomach wall, so you've got a pretty good idea of thickness of muscle. Just watch as I scan through this smooth muscle. Still going, still going. So it's starting to thin out a little bit, but it's still muscle all the way to there. So when I'm saying it's exceptionally thick, smooth muscle, it's much thicker than what we've seen in any of the other organs we've looked at. And it's dramatic to look at. It just keeps going, 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 going. Right? Very thick, smooth muscle on the myometrium. So those are the four slides from today. Ovary and the 3 different uterine phases. Fair deal?